and welcome to Sals Hoopheads. Great to have your company once again. Round 2 down, and if you thought the stories were big in round 1, wait until you see how it all unfolded in round 2. Justin Nelson with you, and as always, the dynamic duo, Casey Frank and Andrew Mulligan with me. And Miles, I've got to say, you been wood chopping or something? Have you been in the garden or? Yeah, mate,
I'm wearing an autumnal shirt. It's getting colder, the nights are longer, the days are shorter, and I'm just making sure I'm stockpiling for what will be a Sals NBL that's heating up with the wood-fired Sals pizzas.
There we go.
Nothing wrong with the flannel. I just thought you were really back into your 90s rock music.
No, I am. I do. I love my... well, I'm on a 90s rock station, so it might as well suit it. Yeah. Also, Sals pizzas aren't wood-fired.
Who's your... question without notice, who's your favourite band of all time, mate?
Favourite band of all time? It'd probably be Pearl Jam and then Radiohead. Ooh. So 90s rock there.
Do I even dare ask Casey?
My favourite band, I vacillate a lot, but let's go Wu-Tang.
Yes. Are you going to the concert? Do you want to come? It's in May.
Sure, keen.
Let's go. I don't have tickets.
I don't either, and I probably can't get out at night.
Justin, do you want to come?
No, absolutely not. Opening minute of the show, autumnal and vacillating.
Yeah.
Nice, I like it. Okay, good start. Let's look at round 2, shall we? Sals NBL, Saints and Bulls opened it up on Thursday night, and the Bulls, man, did they come to play?
They were my pre-season pick to win it all, and I'm glad that they turned up on the road and got a win over the Saints. Unfortunately, it is against the Saints, but we've read the script before. Casey Frank, we've seen the Saints slip up at the start of the season for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it might start a little slow, but they're going to come around. More impressed with what the Bulls did on that. Dan Fotu coming back, Ricky McGill popping back and really getting over that mental hurdle of missing those free throws late. That's a great mental win, I think, for the Bulls. And Terrell Harrison, man, he's a beast.
Well, we've got some news coming up on the Saints in just a moment. There's the rest of the results from round 2. Tuatara and the Airs. We'll pick that one apart in a moment. Bulls get the double on the road, of course.
We don't have to pick apart that Tuatara Airs game, Justin.
That's a fair point. And I can tell you that was the Airs that got the win against the Hawks by 2. There's a lot of news coming out of that one. Jets get the Rams on the road. Wow, what a turnaround by the Jets. And the Nuggies and the Sharks in the Southern Stoush. The Nuggets get home by 8. So there's the results from round 2. Now, big news out of the Saints.
Let me guess.
Yes.
Let me guess.
You got it.
When you said that to me before we started this record, Justin, I was like, no, you're pulling my leg.
One down.
Are they already?
Yes.
Yes, down. Jordan Mills.
James.
I love it.
James Sutherland announced earlier today on the Big Bird, headed home, gone.
Good luck to you. Apparently, not a good fit, not 100% healthy right now. And, going to, you need to make some changes. You need to have your best foot forward, especially with injuries to some of your other import players. But at the end of the day, just shake it up. Shake it up, Saints. Just roll the dice.
I mean, I think we got it wrong, Casey, because I think I said last week they would have done 8 by the next round. And they've only done 1.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Let us down. Look, some big stats out of the Saints at the moment. They're 0-2. Kyle Adnam out injured. No certainty for this week at the moment. But some big stats. Opening 3 quarters in their 2 games so far, they are plus 7 points. Last quarter in their 2 games so far, they are minus 27.
Yeah, that's a damning stat for them. No Kyle Adnam. Last year they had Mike Smith, who wasn't producing at the point guard role. Now they've got a point guard who can produce, but he can't play. And last year I'll be like, oh, that's fine. They're going to be okay. I mean, they had Xavier Cooks, of course. They're going to be fine. But I feel like the league is that much more competitive now. The Jets are a perfect example of this.
Yes.
You get into that 6, you need to get wins straight off the bat.
Cool. I'm going to make this really, really quick. Tuatara Friday night against the Airs, 80-55. Airs shot at 31%. 2 of 19 threes, not good enough. Rob Lowe, block party, amazing. Yeah. 17 points, 12 rebounds, 7 blocks. Weeks he had 19, 7 and 7.
I love what he's doing, Jared Weeks. He just goes. I love that he's just been told you go end to end, push the pace. Aaron Young has got a great core of veterans around and the next tier of youth coming through on the North Shore. And what Rob Lowe did defensively, he was just toying, unfortunately, with Anzat Rosetto. That's the difference between a DP in the Aussie NBL and a vet who's proven at this level.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Giants, Bulls on Saturday. Bulls with 1 under their belt, head further south. made it to no Dan Fortu in this game.
It makes it a more impressive win for the Bulls because of that respect. Once again, Terrell Harrison, fantastic, the way he was finishing above the rim. And even with McCurr, that wasn't enough size for the Giants. Thankfully for them, they got some size, has arrived in the form of a Pippen, basketball royalty coming through. But the Hawks, after a disappointing week 1, the mentality to bounce back, win 2 on the road when you're in a hole, really impressive. Good job by Coach Daniel Sokolowski as well.
Yeah, I just love what the Bulls are doing, putting it together. They look comfortable doing things with McGill at the point guard role, and it's always tough when an import comes in. We've seen the Saints do this, but you just need to find your feet, and you need to find your relationship with your teammates. And if you're new, if it doesn't work, you're gone, and if it does work, you're going to pick up wins on the road.
3 straight double-doubles for Tyrell Harrison to start the season as well. Avery Woodson, 34 in that game, hit 8 of 10 from downtown for the Giants.
And
that's a 35-piece.
Yeah,
man.
So
keep that up.
Good start. Wow. Hawks and Airs, Saturday night. This is where all the controversy was. This is where all the talk was.
What are you talking about?
An amazing finish.
How long's the show? Because I think Casey's going to go off.
We need a while. But the first thing we must talk about is the Airs turnaround. Friday night, they were awful, terrible, bottom of the barrel. What they did on Saturday, an amazing 24-hour turnaround.
Coming into the booth, Brooke, Roscoe and myself thought, well, this is going to go the way of the Hawks. What the Hawks did do, I believe, it kind of looked like they took them a bit too lightly. I think they'd believed their own press a little bit going into that round because they had 2-0 on the road. They were not complacent, but the Airs wanted to rectify what had happened to them the night before. They were superb, and what they did do is they got their imports involved early and often, and they also, I believe, the Hawks didn't watch the Tuatara and the way they trapped them in mid-court, and that pressure really disrupted the Airs offense the night before on Friday. What it did do on Saturday is just let them go. All
right, sit back, relax, here we go. Casey, all yours, tee off.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say I think one of the things that happened in that game is the toughness of Anzac Rosetto. He took over on the interior, and he was too big for everybody. But that shot right there cannot get off in 0.5 of a second. It is just not possible to catch, turn around, shoot, and hit in 0.5. You have to have 0.7 to do a catch and shoot. Anything less than that has to be a tip. Unfortunately, we as a league, we didn't get it right this time. There's some score clock issues at Hawke's Bay that makes it look like the clock started late. That apparently was not the case. But when it comes down to it, the officiating crew has to know you need 0.7 to do anything other than tip.
Good shot, though.
Great shot. Hey, he made the shot. Take nothing away from Taranaki. They did exactly what you should do. Take the win. That's the way it is. But moving forward, I hope we get it right.
Can I go back a step? What an unbelievable call, mid-air, ball, hands on ball, verbally. You only have to say it verbally, timeout. Anzac Rosetto, go back a step, even to get to that last shot. He deserves a lot of credit for the Sky City player timeout.
We would not have this result. The Airs would probably have a loss if it wasn't for the player timeout, the Sky City player timeout. It was really awesome to see that the players, last 2 rounds, they understand what it means. And no, they don't. They take it. They need to take it in the first half just to advance the ball and get a clean shot at the end of a quarter or a half. But for this to win the game, essentially, and we've got to talk about Jordan Hunt missing those 2 free throws as well. The pressure. The pressure, even the call for him to go to the line as well.
Yeah. You know, the call wasn't great, but when you get there, you got to hit 1 of 2. Just hit 1 of 2, and you're right there. But unfortunately, you know, sometimes you make some, sometimes you miss some, and in the end of the day, it's karma.
He is 80% from the TAB stripe as well. So quickly, Rams and Jets. Jets on the road. New blood coming in. Mustafa Heron, amazing. Javion Blake, amazing. Daniel Pippen continues to do what he's doing. Jets, look out.
Jets, Jets against the Canterbury Rams squad that looked like a finals contender. Ty Wynyard playing the best basketball of his professional career in this one with 35 points. But his strength inside was not enough to stop this Jets team who plays hard and has great import talent that's gelling well in a very short amount of time.
Last week I said the Jets were not going to make the 6. They started following me on Instagram. I'm going to take back everything I said last week. I love what they've done. I love Ngāti Taufale. I love the organisation. I love Palmy all day.
Nuggets get the Sharks. They got home by 8. Great crowd. The scenes after the game, quite amazing. Talking points from round 2. Casey, Hawks and Airs. I think we've done that one to death, haven't we?
We have talked about that, but I think it was... so we'll go on to my second talking point, which is the top to bottom quality of this league. You cannot look at anybody on this schedule and think it's going to be an easy beat. If you're not prepared to win, week in, week out, you are not going to make the top 6, and it is going to be a real dogfight right to the last weekend of the season.
Yeah, amazing, aren't they? Ayers turnaround, that was big, wasn't it? Here's the ladder as it sits at the moment, Moles.
I love that ladder. Look at where the Jets are. The Ayers as well, waiting for Anthony Hilliard to arrive. The Giants and the Saints, you know they're going to be in the mix as well. So if you are the Sharks, and if you are the Rams and you are sort of thinking at like, man, we need to get some stuff going. We got some. The Rams are complete in my eyes. They're going to get wins. The Sharks, though, I find them a little bit shaky at the moment. I don't think that they're in sync. And I think a lot relies on Jeremy Kendall. I think that's a little bit too much for him.
Absolutely, and they've got some work to do, the Sharks, after that game. Hey, by the way, crowds year on year, round 2, so 2022 to 2023, up 57% in the Sals NBL Round 2. Quite amazing, so congratulations and well done. Hey, time to add some class to Sals Hoopheads this week. We talked about Casey and Moles being the dynamic duo, but they've got nothing on these two very special guests who are coming in from different parts of the world tonight. We say hello and welcome to two of New Zealand's finest, Crystal Ledger-Walker and Charlize Ledger-Walker. Here they are with us. Welcome. Great to have you with us. Of course, Crystal at the moment is in Australia, in Brisbane, coming off a fantastic Aussie WNBL season where Townsville won the championship. And Charlize is head down in the books and studying hard. We'll start with you, Charlize. How's it all going?
Yeah, pretty good. It's been a pretty full-on season, but right now just really into the school side of things and just looking forward to getting these finals over with and getting back home.
I'm going to throw it over to Crystal. Crystal, how hard did you have to recruit your sister when you were at Washington State? Was it a tough sell? Was it just, look, I've got the lay of the land here, it's going to be great for you? Or is it just something, this is where you're going to become a player?
A little bit of all of it, I guess. Not too much of a hard sell. I don't want to say. She had a great relationship with the coaches and obviously met them when I started at Northern Colorado 3 years prior. So, yeah, I think there was a lot of factors that went into it, but yeah, she had great relationships with the coaches and that I was there, hopefully that topped it off for her.
Charlize, I want to talk to you about how awesome it was to see almost 10 million in the US watching the Women's Championship game. It was an incredible moment. It had a lot of talking points around it for you and the women's game in collegiate basketball. How has it stepped up? How has it gotten better and better each year, and the interest and the media attention that you yourself have felt and the way that the basketball has been playing as well?
Yeah, I think there's, a lot going on with college hoops, especially women's basketball at the moment. I think all the NIL stuff that's been done has really helped bring a lot more viewership to the women's game. Obviously, the talent that's on display. Obviously, you see the likes of Caitlin Clark and people like her playing, and people want to tune in and watch players like her. So I think there's a lot of different things going on, but it's really exciting to be a part of it right now and see so many more people just tuning into women's basketball in general.
Crystal, Shannon Seabohm, the coach of the Townsville Fire in the Aussie WNBL, is highly touted and talked about as the next coach of the Aussie Opals. You've just had a season under him, obviously successful. What did you get out of that?
Yeah, man, such a great X and O's coach and just really knows his stuff. He was so obsessed with the game. But yeah, I learned so much, and they have great guards up in Townsville with Steph Reed and Courtney Woods, and they just do the basics and fundamentals so well. So yeah, really learned a lot, and I'm excited to come back home and see how much I've improved, or if I've improved, and how that compares and translates back into New Zealand basketball.
And Crystal, what was that learning curve for you from college basketball to professional? You got to get your feet wet in the initial season at To'ihi, but when you went over to Australia and saw the level of play, which is a fantastic women's league in this part of the world and for the entire world, possibly second to just the WNBA in terms of the passion and the skill set. What were some of the things that you had to pick up on the run?
Yeah, man, it was definitely a shock when I first got there, going against Steph Reed, who's like one of Australia's best point guards. She picked my pocket the first day. I don't know how many times, like I could barely get over half court. So it was a massive, steep learning curve, and definitely another step up than anything I've seen. But yeah, like you said, it was just a great league. There's a lot of WNBA players that come over here. A lot of the girls that play in this league get picked up to play in the WNBA. So yeah, just nothing but a lot of learnings that came out of this experience or that experience.
It is, Charlize, the inevitable question that you'll be getting asked about the WNBA and that on the horizon and the draft and getting yourself prepared to be available and play the best you can. How much extra work are you having to put in to realise that dream, that goal?
A lot. For me, last summer, obviously it's contrasted to New Zealand summers, but I decided to go back and train with the summer with my coaches, and I think that really helped my game and kind of improved like different skill areas and things like that. So I think for me, that is the type of stuff that I'm having to do right now, is really focus on a lot of different areas in my game and really or refine those skills. And so it's definitely just a lot of time in the gym and getting around the right people and just being motivated to want to be able to get to, the next level.
Crystal, I know that you are still in Australia, obviously playing in Brisbane at the moment. Plans to come back and play GJ Gardner-Holmes To'ihi?
Yeah, of course. Definitely miss my Kahu family, so looking to go back there and play in the To'ihi season. But yeah, of course I want to stay a part of it, and hopefully the league has grown and everyone's still pumped from how awesome it was last year.
Now, Ledger Walker's a great basketball family, obviously coming from a mom who played for the Tall Ferns, and you saw her compete in the Olympics. I don't know, were you guys even old enough to watch her compete in the Olympics back in the day? I'm not sure. But on the other side, on the Ledger side, you've got some great basketballers. You've got Josh Ledger. You've got his brother as well coming up now. Which ones are the better hoopers, the Ledger Walkers or the Ledgers? Who are you in 2-on-2? Who's going to get this victory? Just so you know, my money's on you.
Don't know.
We
they can answer that.
Play around.
And are you two, who would beat who, and how long has it taken for somebody to catch up to the other sister when it comes to playing backyard hoops? Charlize, I'll start with you.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of different players a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I definitely kind of get into more of a strength type of game when I'm playing against Crystal. Back her down a little bit, show off some post moves. But probably stamina-wise, she can last a bit longer. So depends what we're playing and how long we're playing for.
Come on, give it to her, Crystal. Don't hold back.
Yeah, no, you know who's actually the one to watch out for is Tanika.
There we go.
Went, I think last year we came home and Tanika went on Instagram Live and had us playing one-on-one and was getting people to vote and everything. And Tanika actually beat me a few times. I don't think Charlie's let her beat her, but yeah, she's the one to watch out for one-on-one.
The look on Charlize's face there is just priceless.
Charlize, a final question. When you're looking towards the WNBA, what skill set do you look at your own game and feel like you have to improve to get to that next level? Is it a mentality thing? Is it a strength thing? Or is there an aspect of your game that you have to level up on?
Yeah, I think there's a few different things you have to think about. For me right now, I'm focusing on really being a lot more consistent in my three-point percentage, and also just being a three-level scorer, obviously being able to get to the rim, pull-up game, same thing, threes as well. But also I think it is a big mental thing. You have to be ready going into the league. Obviously it's very cutthroat, as is any professional team or setting, but especially in the league because there's not a lot of spots up for grabs. And obviously you have people who stay in the league for years, and so you have those vets, and so you're really competing for really limited spots. And so going in, you can't have any or there's no opportunity to not be confident, and all of them over here are really confident. So that as well, just being mentally prepared going in. Can't wait for some expansion teams in the WNBA in the future. So, hey, Crystal and Charlize, other sides of the world, amazing technology to have you with us on Sals Hoopheads tonight. Great to see you both smiling, happy, enjoying basketball, and we certainly will continue to watch your progress. Globally, you're doing wonderful things, not only for basketball, but for the girls and women in the game here in New Zealand. So well done, congratulations, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
How great. How fantastic what Crystal and Charlize are doing globally at the moment.
I love the attention that that sisters are getting, and also Charlie's journey is being documented more and more in the media as well. Like, it's just not focusing on what's going to be on the men's side of college basketball, but what she can do and the attention she brings, and having Toihi as a base for the women in the game there in New Zealand.
To me, it's just a story of opportunity. You know, we're seeing the professional game start to rise up here. We're seeing these two young ladies become an inspiration to that next generation of baller. And, you know, I've said it a few times, but I didn't coin it, but you got to see it to be it.
Yep.
They saw the forerunners, now they're the forerunners for somebody else, and we're just trying to go from strength to strength in the women's game.
NBA, speaking of all things American at the moment, just wild stuff. Of course, we are into the playoff. Mulls, Kings and Warriors.
Yeah, they are my team, the Warriors. I really grew up watching run TMC. I was only a couple of seasons, but that had captured my imagination. Not a whole lot of defense, but now they are really struggling on the road. At time of recording, they had lost the first game. The Kings, you know, there's a lot written about how they haven't been here since 2006. But they look like they've been in the playoffs for 16 years. The way that Sabonis and Fox, they look tough. They look like Mike Brown's done a really good job with making them realise and appreciate the talents that they have.
Malik Monk.
Yeah, Malik Monk. That was a Malik Monk game. Who can believe that? But yeah, I think the Warriors will get this series done. It may go 7. They do have to win a road game, the Warriors, which I think they had 11 in the NBA season, regular season. So they may not get one in Sacramento. They could be out in the first round.
But by averages, that's one out of every 4 in the regular season. They got 4 opportunities. They just got to get that one.
We're the math genius. A math genius.
My favorite thing about Sacramento back to the playoffs is the last time they won a playoff game, Mike Bibby had 35 or 36. I can't remember which it was, but that's how long it's been.
Mike Bibby's been lifting since. He looks swole.
When it comes to adding and subtracting, I'm very surprised you've gone to Casey.
I was surprised.
Listen, Suns and Clippers. Now, I think that this is a key matchup, and both of these teams can go a little bit further once they get past this matchup. I don't know who's going to get through this matchup, but gee, there's some stars. That opening game was amazing.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Throwback.
The absolute robot, Kawhi Leonard. You know what? Ironically, Phoenix look thin. They look thin on the bench. They gave up a lot to get KD. KD is now, I think he's now 1-9 or 1-10 in his last 10 playoff games, 11 playoff games, which is a crazy stat to think about. But they just don't look deep enough. Torrey Craig had a game.
Yeah, and a 20-piece.
They were like, well, if you're going to beat us, Torrey Craig is going to have to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
How about this, Monty Williams? Run a pick and roll with KD and Booker.
Great call.
Let's not do it with Chris Paul and DeAndre.
We have a coaching genius as well.
Quietest 18-9 I've ever heard was from DeAndre Ayton. Get those two involved.
And very, very quickly, Bucks and Heat. I know you're up for that one.
Oh, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Buckets is playoff time, baby. He has got the Bucks in his sights. I never want to see a player injured, but this is why you play the games. Giannis went down. He may or may not come back full strength. If he's not full strength, this Heat team has a chance, and you cannot count them out because they have a heck of a culture down there. And Jimmy Buckets, he's got those does in his sight.
They had about 15 or so games without Giannis all season long, but it's Chris Middleton's team now if Giannis isn't there. And he missed a whole lot of games this season. He looks like he's the shooter, but can he be a dynamic scorer for them? And I don't know if he's got the legs for it.
Round 3 games coming up in the Sals NBL, and there's a lot to like about what's ahead of us this week. Let's have a look at those games now. Of course, it all starts on Thursday night. And what a showdown this will be. Of course, the Hawks up against the Rams, both coming in off a loss. We'll talk more about these games in a moment. Friday, the Sharks up against the Tuatara. The Tuatara on the move this weekend with 2 games, as are the Rams. They take on the Bulls, the early game on Saturday. Airs and the Nuggets Saturday night. Looking forward to that first game at home for the season for the Airs. They'll have a massive crowd. Speaking of massive crowds, the Green Army will come out, Jets and the Giants on Sunday. And then last game for round 3, Saints and the Tuatara. Can the Saints get on the board?
What a matchup that is. Can I just say I love the Jets as well, just one last time.
Jets.
Jets.
Bulls and Rams?
Yeah, Bulls and Rams for me, they really look like a team that can do some damage. But this is a real litmus test. This could easily be a final preview between these two teams.
Looking forward to it. Yes and no. Here we go. We love to finish it off here on Sals Hoopheads with this. Are you both strapped in?
Yeah, Let's do it.
Here we go.
I'm ready.
Yes or no? Based on what we've seen so far from the Saints, will they miss the final 6?
Just based on what we've seen so far.
What we've seen so far.
Oh, yes, they'll miss the final 6. Based on what we've seen yet? Yeah.
No, they won't miss the finals based on what I've seen.
Last week.
So you're saying that team that we've seen so far with no Adnam is going to make the final 6?
Absolutely.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense, bro. They're down 28 in the second half.
I believe in the Saints.
Okay, back to Justin.
I believe in the Saints.
Liar.
I believe in the
Homer.
Saints.
You know it's
Homer.
only yes or no, don't you? Last week, both of you said the Jets would miss the final 6. Do you stand by it?
No, absolutely not.
Back out. I'm backed out completely.
I'm out. New week, new me.
Easiest one for the week. Tabernaki's David Azor. Did he get his match-winning shot off in time?
Well, I mean, yes, because the bucket counted. Do you say should he have? No.
It's a yes or no
Those are
section,
two questions.
Justin, because I don't think Casey understood the
Yes
Bucket.
or no?
Bucket.
Do you think
counts.
he got it off in time?
No.
Right.
That's a different question, isn't it?
Miles?
Yes, I do, because he it was credited with a bucket.
Fantastic. Should it be mandatory that all backboards in the Sals NBL have LED lighting fitted? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Sky City player timeout?
Love it.
You love it?
Love it.
I like it.
I love it.
This isn't a yes or no question.
Last one. Let's get out of here. Hiram Harris, Tall Blacks World Cup. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. Sals Hoopheads down and done for another week. Hope you enjoyed it. Round 3 coming up. Get out there and support your teams. It is electric. It is hot. Great start to the season. We love it. 6 games coming your way this week on Sky Sport. We'll see you next week.